Let me get comfortable because this motherfucking tea is about to be hot. Hello and welcome to my channel, everyone. It is your girl Cassandra Olivia, and if you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And you already know what this video is about if you saw the title, so let's get straight into it. I did a poll on my story asking if you guys wanted to see my nastiest client ever, or my client that basically finessed me into giving her a hair appointment and then end up not coming to get her daughter for a minute. So there's a plot twist at the end of that, but the first story I'm going to do first is my nastiest client ever. So let me get the dates. I wrote all the little thumbnails and stuff down because this was in 2018 and it's now 2021. And I want to make sure I have all my facts right, because y'all know I'm a fact checking type of bitch. I like to make sure I have all my facts, honey. November 2017, I had a new client. She came to me, basically booked online, and you know, around the holidays everybody's busy, so I'm not thinking nothing crazy. I'm thinking, okay, this is a new client, whatever, trying to get her hair done. But around the holidays, as a hairstylist or anybody that works in the cosmetology industry, you know that holidays are the busiest time ever, because you have Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, people are taking pictures, etc. So I didn't think that was weird, but she went on my website, she booked. Mind you, on my website I have like my location, my pricing, my services, like a breakdown of every service, any Q&As, reviews. Like I tried to have everything on my old website because I actually used to use StyleSeat. So boom, the client booked her name through StyleSeat. And she set her appointment for, I think, the week of Thanksgiving. I don't even remember when Thanksgiving was, 2017. But just know she got her hair done, I think, like 2 days before Thanksgiving. So that way it was fresh and she could take her family pictures. Cool. So when she comes in, you know how you just meet somebody and you just get like a weird vibe off rip. They don't have to say nothing to you. Just kind of like, you meet somebody and they're like, are weird. And you're just like, when I say she had a weird vibe, I mean like as soon as she came in, like my spidey senses started tingling. Like I'm like, bitch, be on alert. Like I don't know if she's gonna try to run off on you or what. Like in the back of my mind, I'm just like, be prepared for anything to go down just because you got a weird vibe. Always follow your gut, especially when you're a hairstylist or you get a vibe from anybody. Follow your gut. Somebody feel weird, they probably are weird, or they're probably not somebody you should be around. But you know, work through it, because I'm not going to click with everybody. Everybody's not going to click with me. You might be an introvert. I'm an introvert too, but you might be more introverted than me. So I'm not thinking nothing crazy about this at this point. I'm just like, okay, it's kind of weird in my head. So she comes in, I do my usual. I'm super professional. So I'm like, hi, how are you doing? My name's Cassandra. I'll be your stylist today. As soon as you come in and book with me, I'm always ready for you at least 30 minutes before your appointment. All my clients know that, and that's why I'm always booked out. So bam, she comes in. I'm like, can I take your jacket? It's wintertime. So I offer to take her coat. I'm like, get nice and comfortable. You're going to be here for a while. I'm going to hang your jacket up. Have a seat at the shampoo bowl. I'll be with you in just a moment. You know, get nice and comfy. Let me get your bundles. Like, we're doing the whole, you know, back and forth. Everything was cool. Get her at the shampoo bowl, and I'm sitting there shampooing her hair. And I'm making small talk with her just because it's like, I don't really know her. And she gave me like a weird vibe off rip. But I'm thinking like maybe she's just nervous, or she's, you know, shy. This is her first time meeting me, so I don't blame you. Maybe she's trying to get a feel for me too. So I'm just asking the usual, you know, I'm shampooing her. I'm like, you know, how long have you been wearing weaves for? Is this your first weave? She's telling me, no, I wear weaves all the time. I actually was going to a couple other people, but I had an issue here, issue there. We'll get into that later. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm asking her like, how'd you find me? I think she found me on like, Instagram at the time, because my YouTube was not popping at all, like dry as fuck. So I'm pretty sure she found me on IG. Hold on, I gotta change my battery because my battery about to die. Hold on, y'all. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. She's my client now. I'm doing her hair. I'm doing the best service I can. You know, I'm talking to her. I'm giving her a little bit of conversation. I'm asking her, you know, her hair care regimen. She's telling me that she wears sew-ins all the time. So I'm like, okay, get her shampooed. Everything's good to go. So we get to my chair. And I'm like, okay, just show me, you know, picture how you want your hair styled. You know, I'm making small talk with her. I'm getting the hair. I'm sorting everything out. It has highlights and stuff in it. So I'm like, okay, she had an 18 and 16. I'm telling her, you know, 18 goes at the bottom, 16 goes at the top, because that's how it's supposed to go. You layer it. Boom. Everything's going good. So then I'm like, okay, I'm making small talk with her. She's seeming kind of cool. Now she's starting to warm up to me. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. Maybe I just, no, maybe I was wrong. Whatever. So as I'm making small talk with her, I'm asking her like, you know, what type of sewing would you like? So she proceeds to show me a picture of a freaking invisible part sewing. Now, mind you, invisible parts are early, like 2009, 2010. That was that era. Nobody's doing invisible parts no more, baby, because it's a lot of glue. They don't last. They separate quick. They look cheap. They tacky as hell. I'm gonna be blunt. I don't like no damn invisible part. Like, leave that shit in the past. Like, don't, we're not doing that. So I proceed to tell her, like, look, we can either do a closure sewing, but you would have to either purchase a closure, or I provide one, whatever, or you could do some leave out. So she was like, oh, that's perfectly fine. I would like to do some leave out. Okay, cool. So I'm making sure, you know, she knows when you do leave out with straight hair, you have to make sure that you wrap your hair. On my website, it tells you how long to keep your weaves and everything. I'm even telling her this, so she knows. And she's telling me she's worn sew-ins before, right? So if you got somebody telling you they wear sew-ins or braids, whatever, you assuming that they know what's going on. But either way, I make sure that I ask them, like, yo, you know what's going on? Like, don't keep this in longer than this, that, and the third. Wrap it with a bonnet. Like, I'm making all the small talk. So she gets done. And she loves her hair. She's like, I love my hair. I'm going to be rebooking with you soon. You did a great job. As she's in my chair, she proceeds to tell me that she gets weaves all the time. Like, she a vet or whatever. You know how girls are. I always get weaves every couple months. Da, da, da. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, it ain't nothing. What's up? So she's telling me like the backstory about the other people she was going to. One person, like, I guess was unprofessional, not showing up. Another person was charging her too much. One person tore her hair up. Like, she was just salon hopping, which a lot of people do. Because Delaware, it just not really a whole bunch of good professional hairstyles. We got some bomb ass hairstyles, but bomb ass hairstyles that are professional also rare, which is why I'm always booked, keeping them 100. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I got this in the bag. Like, I'm starting to talk to her. She's already like gassing me, like, yeah, I came, you was on time, the sewing looks amazing, you're doing great, thank you for recommendation. Like, because I really am into hair care, and I'm not going to do nothing on your hair that's going to damage your hair. So if you would have came in and got color and hair was damaged, I'm not doing color either, because that's going to fall back on me. I'm licensed, and I'm supposed to be recommending and taking care of your hair. What type of stylist would I be if I just do anything to get your money? So that's neither here nor there. We get done. She proceeds to tell me, like, I love my hair, I'll see you in a couple months, I'm going to rebook with you. Okay, great. I'm like, all right, yes, like, everything's cool. I'm getting a much better vibe from her. So cool, you know, happy holidays to you, take care, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I'm feeling really honored that she chose to come to me. Everybody that books with me, I feel honored that they come to me, because you can go to anybody else, you choose to sit in my chair. So already I'm just like, you know, thank you, come again. Everything's good. I'm telling her the hair care tips, you know, make sure you wrap your hair at night. Use a heat protectant if you press your hair. Don't press your hair too often. I'm literally giving her the whole rundown. You know how stylists are. The hair care after, you're supposed to do that. I do a hair care after. I tell you how to wrap your hair, how to maintain it, what products to put in it. Don't over process it. Don't put too much heat in it. If you're natural, like, I give you the whole rundown, so you know how to take care of your hair when you leave my spot. But mind you, she's telling me that she's already had a sewing before, several sewings. So I'm thinking, oh, she good, but I'm gonna still give her my little spiel so that way she can feel like, all right, cool, got her money's worth. Bam. Fast forward, y'all. Fast forward. It is now 2018. Months and months went by, 7 months to be exact, and I have not heard from this woman. She has not ever gotten maintenance. She didn't get a removal. Literally got her hair done for Thanksgiving and was like, poof, crickets. Didn't hear nothing else. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it was a one and done. Maybe that weird vibe I was feeling she felt too, she didn't want to come back. I'm just assuming a whole lot of stuff, but I'm not thinking too much into it, because like I said, I'm always booked. So whatever, bye. So 7 months later, it's June 5th, 2018. I remember that because that's the day I made this snap. It's not showing her face, but it is showing her hair, because I already knew I was going to show my mom and my sister. I text them throughout the day when it's crazy stuff going on. I don't text when I'm doing clients, but if it's something weird, like somebody walked in or it was altercation, whatever it might be, I'm going to text my mom and my sister. Like, we have a really close relationship. Bam. So I made a snap because I'm like, oh, I'm going to send this to my mom and my sister later. So bam. She comes in. It's June 5th, 2018. Now, mind you, she got this install in November. So that's November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. That's 7 whole months that went by, right? Still got the same sewing in. But unbeknownst to me, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe she went somewhere else. They had like a cheaper install price. Because people do that. Like, they see your price and they're like, this is nice, but I can go to another girl in the street, get the same thing. That's fine. Like, save your coins, do what you got to do. But you also get what you pay for. So I'm thinking all of this in my head, like, it's been a minute. But mind you, I had a hair in my shirt. Mind you, she booked a weave removal and a new install. So I'm like, oh, okay, because you know how hairstylists are. We don't work over other people's work, but I make an exception when it comes to weave removals. The only thing that I do differently is if you get a weave removal that's like a weave that's not done by me, I charge double. So it'll be like 40. At the time it was 40. But if it was a client of mine at the time, it was 20. So you're paying an extra $20 just because I might have to go in and do some extra stuff. But typically a sewing is a sewing. It's a sewing. Like, it's a sewing. So She comes in and she has this hat on. It's super early in the morning. Mind you, she's my only client for this day. For some odd reason, she's my only client. I think it was like a rainy day or something. Had a cancellation after her, which was perfect. Because when I tell you, she came in this building and she had a hat on. And when she peeled this motherfucking hat off, you guys, it was the same sewing I did November 2017.
Bitch, I know you fucking lied.
I know this ain't the same sewing from last year. I know it's not. Like, I'm sitting here being cocky in my head. Like, I know the fuck this ain't it. This is not it. This is not the same sewing I did last year. Can't be. So I asked her, I'm like, I start, you know, I'm in my head, I'm thinking all this, right? But I'm playing it cool. Like, I'm looking at her like, hi, how you doing? But all this, and I'm like, yikes. So I tell her, I said, you know, you can come sit down in my chair. I'm ready to take your install out, you know, get comfortable. Same thing I did before. Boom. She sits down in my chair and the weave is literally like hard as a brick. Hard as a brick. I'm gonna insert a picture in the video so you guys can see how it looked once I actually cut the wefts out. But I end up cutting the wefts out. But under the wefts, anybody gets sewing knows that you have braids. And a lot of times you get a net. I do braids and a net unless a client asks that I don't do a net. Some clients don't like nets, but 99.9% of my clients, automatically when I do a sewing, I provide the net, braiding hair, all of that. So she had a net on. I proceed to cut the weave out, and then, you know, under the tracks there's a net, and then the net is sewn onto your braids for anybody that doesn't wear weaves. So you got the braided foundation, bam, we're gonna go reverse. You got the net, and then the net keeps your braids nice and crisp, and then you have the sewing, which is the weave on top. Cool. So now we're unraveling it. So it's weave, net, braids. When we get to the braids, it's a big ass rat's nest. When I say rat's nest, I mean like a dreadlock. When I say dreadlock, I'm going to insert the video right now so you can see what it looks like.
Oh my God.
Her braids had grown out so much. There was so much new growth, but it had grown out so much to the point where she had all this dandruff, sweat, all this hair. So it literally caked up and turned into a dreadlock. And I'm sitting there thinking, why me? And I'm also thinking, why did you keep your weaving so long? So now I'm curious. I'm like kind of like making small talk with her, because at this point I'm so disgusted. I'm not even trying to talk to this bitch because I already know in my head she's blocked. I already know. As soon as I started to do the sewing and I saw how terrible it looked, I was like, she's blocked. Like, before I even got her all the way in the chair, she was blocked. So I start picking at these braids, and when I tell you I cannot get these braids out, I'm just like, okay. So she proceeds to tell me, I'm like, so did you get maintenance? Did you, you know, what have you done since the last time you've been here? She's like, oh, well, I haven't had time because I have 2 children. So I'm like, okay, I'm a mom of 3. I get it. Sometimes you get caught up in life. And I asked her, I'm like, how old are your kids? This bitch gonna say 18 and 20. And they off at college. You was busy for 7 months? You couldn't take an hour out your day to come get your hair fixed? Or taken out at least? You didn't even have to get it redone. You could have just got the removal. That takes about 30 minutes, if that. So I'm like, what have you been doing in the meantime? When I tell you, the leave out at the top was so damaged and thin, you could see through to her scalp. Again, I'm gonna insert the video at some point, but you can see through to her scalp. And then I'm asking her, like, how did you even leave your sewing in for so long? Because the braids were okay, the net was okay, but you know, as your hair grows out, you start getting that separation. So if your leave out's here, you got your braids here, your first track here, eventually the braids are going to start growing downwards. So her braids were literally like down here. So you got all this new growth, fucked up leave out braids. But to make matters worse, she told me that to keep her sewing looking long and lovely and nice and kept up, as her hair would grow out, she would glue tracks onto that new growth. Just keep gluing them, keep gluing them. So a month goes by, glue some more tracks. Then you got those tracks glued with the sewing, glue more tracks. She kept doing this until she couldn't do it anymore. And honestly, she told me the only reason why she came to me is because her husband, who was Caucasian, told her, like, yo, when are you going to get your hair done? Like, your hair's starting to smell a little funny. Mind you, white guys normally don't bother black women about their hair. They normally don't fuck with us. They normally don't be like, babe, your hair's trashy or matty, whatever. I've been looking crazy a whole lot of times, guys. I've never really had a guy say, what you doing with your hair? You know how bad your hair has to be for somebody that you're with to tell you, like, yo, your hair stinks, what are you doing? So at this point, I done put the gloves on. I already put the gloves on before I started. I put my gloves on. I put my apron on. Like I said, I'm taking this weave out because now I gotta work through it. And I'm like, before I even get this started, I need to let her know that this ain't gonna be no $20, boo-boo. I charged this girl $250 for the removal alone. You know why? Do you know why? Because it's a lock removal now. It's a lock removal, and now I'm gonna have to use hella products to get that stench out your hair, because she told me that she worked out twice a week. So you're working out, you're sweating, your hair's shedding, you have glue, you have dandruff, you have so many different elements in your hair because you've never washed it once since November. All that's caked in your hair. So I gave her 2 options, and I looked at her like, once I gave her the price, I said, look, there's 2 options. You can pay me $250 to remove this, plus the $170 to get your hair done, or you can go somewhere else and they'll probably just cut your hair off. I said, but this is gonna take me like 2 hours to take out, 2 hours plus. She kind of looked at me just like, really? Well, I said, well, what you wanna do? What the fuck you wanna do? Because at this point, I don't even care about the money. It's either I'm gonna take it out, or you're gonna go to another shop and they're gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna work under this because it's nasty. Or they're gonna be like, yo, we're gonna cut all your hair off, because nobody's gonna sit there picking at braids that you left in. Nobody's gonna do that. Especially if somebody came to me and had a weave done by somebody else, especially, and they was like, yo, Cass, can you take this out? And I see it's matted. Oh, you're getting turned down. So I said, your options are get turned down by other people, go somewhere to cut your hair out, or you could probably go somewhere else, possibly, but it's in Delaware, ain't nobody doing that. Nobody's doing that. At the time, I was the only person doing lock removal in Delaware when it first came out. And I did it one time and will never do it again because it took me 2 days. So I told her, I said, this hair appointment is no longer going to be a 3-hour appointment. It's going to be like a 5 to 6 hour appointment. So she's kind of like, okay, I'll pay it. I made her pay the full balance up front before I even started, because what you're not going to do is have me do this and then I'm done. You're like, oh, I got to run out, or I don't have the money. Nope, no, no. I have a Square card reader. I plugged it right in my phone. Here, let me swipe you real quick before we get started. I need full payment up front. Full payment for the removal and for the sewing. Just for the fact that you had the audacity to come sit in my chair with this nappy ass, matted ass weave, knowing that your hair was nasty and funky underneath, and you try to play it like, oh, I was busy. Bitch, ain't that much busy in the motherfucking world. I have 3 kids, a business. I drive an hour to and from work every day. My husband's in the military. I got a lot going on. I'm never that fucking busy. Never. And you got time to go to the gym, but you don't have time to get a weave removal? So I'm already like, okay. So she pays me up front. I start taking this weave out. It took me 2 hours to take it out. I ended up having to, and her hair was shedding so much, because at this point, your hair sheds naturally, but when it's matted, you don't take care of it, you don't put oil, she hasn't washed it. And I think she was mixed, so it was like a half black, half white type situation. Their hair can't handle the same thing that our hair can handle. It's more fine. So it was just a lot of breakage. So at the top, I'm gonna see if I can pause it and zoom in. At the top, you can actually see where her leave out was. It was enough leave out, probably like this much. It probably was at least, I could count the strands in her leave out, probably 150 strands, if that. It was so little bit of hair, you could see through it. And I think that's why she came to me, because she realized, okay, I can't keep blending this glue situation, because now my leave out situation is like almost gone, and I really need somebody to fix my hair. That's probably what happened. So I get my money up front, get them coins up front, because you know how I am about my coins. I don't play by my money, I don't play by my time. So I do that, and then she tells me, oh, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. I knew better. I don't know why I kept my hair in so long. She's like, I don't know why I kept my hair in so long. I literally never do this. So I blocked her. And then after, I had already blocked her, like I said at the beginning, I already blocked her. But after I got done, she's like, okay, I'm gonna book with you in a couple weeks and get my, what did she say? Hold on, what was it? So after we get done, I do the removal, I do a new sewing. Mind you, she's already blocked. She's telling me, okay, I'm gonna leave this in for a couple months and then I'm gonna come back and get it removed. I said, okay, because at this point I'm like, maybe she really didn't know, but then I'm like, you had to know because you wear weaves all the time. You was just being lazy. Then she was like, well, I'm trying to get my money's worth. Well, girl, I only charged $170 at the time. That's normal price. But you didn't get your money's worth because you ended up paying double that to get this taken out because it looks crazy. So I'm just like, I just can't with people. I just can't. So I did the removal. I ended up doing a new sewing in her hair. And then after I got done the new sewing, I don't know if I blocked her immediately or what the case may be. I think I blocked her, and I think what she ended up doing was booking under a different name, because 6 months later, she rebooked a weave removal, and when she walked in and I saw she had the same exact weave from 6 months prior, I told her I couldn't do it, and I'm no longer the stylist for you. And she was tight. She was so tight. But I had warned you. I said I'm not doing that again. And for you to try to do it twice, girl, you bugging. Like, had the audacity to be like, really? I really need my hair done. I have an event. Girl, you get your hair done what time of year? In a weave at that, you gonna leave it in? Sis, just wear your natural hair out if you don't want to bother with it or get locks. Like, you talking about, oh, well, I'll pay the extra fee. Ain't no extra fee. I'm not about to sit here for 2-3 hours, and I had other people behind her. I literally spaced out my clients enough time to where I have enough time to get everything set up, done, clean, like my station down, all of that, and get the next client. So you want me to delay my other clients for this foolishness? Oh, nah. So sis has been blocked since 2018 or 2000, maybe 19, but she came back. I don't even know the damn days, but that is all I have to say for my story time about my client who left in her weave for 7 months. Do not do it. The longest you should leave your sew-ins in for, I tell my clients honestly, is 8 weeks, and that's pushing it. I don't do 3 months. I don't do 4 months. And my removals now, because of that situation, my removals now I believe are $80. If you have a sew-in, no, I'm lying. It's $80 if it's not by me, because I'm just super booked. I don't have time to be doing the people that I don't know. So I try to do that to weed out people from booking me just for weave removal. If you're going to do it, it's going to be worth my time. But my removals now are $40 for my clients, but it includes the wash, shampoo, deep condition, all that, blow dry. Bam, that's the steal. $80 for somebody that's not my client, just because of the time it might take, and I don't know your hair and all of that. And we have COVID right now, so it's $80. You're going to pay me my $80 or go somewhere else. You don't have to pay me. But I also have it in my description that any sew-in that's left in longer than 3 months is double that. It's $160, and any sew-in longer than 3 months is $250 and up. And stylist has the right to refuse service, because I'm not, them days of working hard and picking at it for a little bit of money, to me it's not worth my peace of mind. Not to mention, when I got finished her hair, I ended up throwing out the towel I used on her, the comb I used on her, the cape I used on her. I had to wipe my chair down with Clorox wipes. There was so much dandruff on the back of my chair and on my floor. I had to wipe my chair down. I had to bleach it. I had to wipe the floor down. I literally had to do a whole sanitation process when I got to her. And I know you're thinking, you had a towel and a cape, you could have washed it. It's not worth it to me. I'd rather just buy a new towel and a cape. Yeah, I could use Barbicide for my comb, but again, it's not that serious. I'd rather buy another $10 comb than know that I use this in this lady hair and I try to sanitize it, and in the back of my head, I'm gonna just be remembering that. So nope. It's your towel and your cape now. You can keep this comb. I would have gave her the chair, like, yo, here. If it wasn't so damn expensive, because look, when I tell you my chair has so much like crust and stuff stuck all in it, man, stop playing with me. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, y'all. I almost forgot to mention, as I'm taking her weave out, right? This chick had the nerve to be like, does my hair look healthy?
Oh, if I had wings like this dove, for then will I fly away and be at rest.
Ma'am, are you? And I'm so blunt, y'all, and I know it's bad, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. I'm sorry. I've always been that way. If something's bothering me, I'm gonna let it be known. So when she asked me that, I said, no, it doesn't look healthy. Your hair is actually extremely damaged, because what you did was you put glue on it. The glue was pulling your hair out, and then you also kept putting heat in your hair constantly. So your hair is fried. And she ain't like that. What, you want me to lie to you? Yeah, your hair looks amazing. Then you get home like, why got all these bald spots? Girl, I'm not about to sit here and lie to you. You see what the fuck your hair look like at the top. You know that your hair is done. Stick a fork in it. It's done. It's fried, dilate to the side, lay it on the altar, pray over it, put some oils on it. Ain't nothing gonna bring this hair back, sis. We're gonna have to start over, big chop it some. Cause now you got all this hair on the side that's matted. It's still damaged, but you got this part at the top that's bald. And then had the nerve when I was doing her new install to ask me if I could do another sew but leave out in the same spot. I said, no ma'am, you're getting a closure today. And she was like, oh really? I don't have enough for leave out? You don't have enough to even braid. You barely got enough for that. Be lucky you had braided hair on deck. Be lucky my grip game is crazy, because sis, you asking for a lot from me. I'm not a magician, I'm a hairstylist. So when she asked me that, I was just like, wow, this bitch really lost her mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Hopefully it wasn't too all over the place. I don't really do story times because I don't really be having that much drama. And before I just let shit rock. I let it rock and don't speak on it. But it's 2021 and the girls want the stories, honey. So I'm here with the stories and the tea and the drama. So if you like this story time, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.